Yeah, what's going on, people, man? EJ Boxer live here with Destiny. So, Destiny, yeah, the pubs, the theaters, just the every social ground has been shut. What do you think, man? Destiny,
Yeah, I'm here.
yeah, what do you think?
Right, okay. This shots gonna be hard for folks, like you know what I'm saying. But it shuts down. I guess it protects us. You know what I'm saying. So I don't know. I don't know, but it's definitely gonna be hard. Like definitely, it's gonna
So,
be hard.
so don't you think so the people ain't got it? Why do they need to stay at home for if they ain't got it?
Well, some people, majority of people got it. That's the thing. But nobody knows who got it or not. And apparently, they can't be tested. Like, you know what I'm saying? They have to have a test kit. And that is another thing. Can't go to the hospital. You can't just walk into the hospital because they tell you to, like, stay indoors and stuff like that. So it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah, well, my thing is this year, like, bro, people need to earn money. If they close their business, how they gonna earn money? What they don't get no benefits from the government, and that's gonna take a long time to process the information.
Yeah.
So how they gonna make money, man? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
It's it, yo. What's up? What's up, SSB 28? You know what I'm saying? It's just it's right. So London right now, Boris asks to stop. But he asks, is this the thing is, yeah? People thought the army was going to come in and control this shit, people on lockdown, but he ain't doing that. He's asked the pubs and the cafes and the restaurants to close. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? He's asking the British people. But already, let me play this clip, yeah, from the guy who done the pubs, right? This
Mm-hmm.
dude, and I agree with him. I'm gonna play this clip of this guy in that 1 second. He ain't having it, man. And I agree with him. It's like, yo, let me see what this guy's name is. I had his name here. When I go, where he at? Who's this guy? Was this guy? Man, where's this? Okay, where's this guy gone? His name was something. I just had his name there. We never got actually. Let me see. Where's his name? Oh, Witherspoon. This guy Witherspoon. Let me play this guy Witherspoon, right? So this guy Witherspoon, he's the chairman of the pubs. He's not on it. So we're gonna play this nice and loud and HD, like my man Coach K says.
Our aim is for pubs open for the duration. This could go on for a long time. And I think that once you shut them down, it's very difficult. Supermarkets are very, very crowded. Pubs are much less crowded. There's hardly been any transmission of the
Oh man, my bad. Let me run that again.
for a long time. And I think that once you shut them down, it's very difficult. Supermarkets are very, very
It's
crowded.
true.
Pubs are much less crowded. There's hardly been any transmission of the virus within pubs. And I think it's over the top to shut them. That's a commercial view, but I think it's also a common sense view.
And you haven't been asking employees to take pay cuts or take unpaid leave or anything like that?
Well, it's only happened in the last few days, the dramatic reduction in trade. So what we've agreed so far is that I and the chief executive will take a 50% cut, but that's as far as we got.
You've also obviously got your half-year results out today. You've cancelled the dividends. How much is that going to hit you personally in the pocket?
I think it was a famous song that said, "Don't cry for me, Argentina." So it's very kind of you, but don't worry about my lost divvy.
Divvy means money. He's talking about his pockets anyway. So that's the man of Witherspoons Tim. Oh, let me see. 1 second. Let me get his name in it. Get his name in. 1 second. Shit. 1 second. Let me click this up. So that's what he's saying. And I can't even disagree with his name. Tim Martin. He's the boss of Witherspoons. So that must be some of the pubs in England and London and whatever. So I don't really disagree with him, man. You know what I'm saying? Trying to contain the virus and them things there. But at the same time, if you haven't got it, how you supposed to earn? You know what I'm saying? How you supposed to earn, man? How you supposed to earn? How's people gonna earn if like you know what I'm saying? You ain't claiming no benefit, no none of that. And you rely on a paycheck monthly or weekly. How you supposed to get money, man? People gonna get in a desperate state. They're stopping people from working and making them phone a number to get money. That's long, man. How long them forms gonna take? How long them forms gonna take to get out before you get paid? People, that's some stressful, man. Yeah, so that's what we're talking about right now is the virus thing, man. The virus has already spread a lot. Yeah, but it must be on the downslide, man. Let me ask you a question, SB. Yeah, how many people you know has died from it? Because we know we heard, but how many people do you know? Like Destiny, how many people you know died from it or contracted it?
A lot.
You know a lot of people who got it.
Well, obviously I'm here.
People you know.
No, not people I know. No.
Okay, so let me ask a question: how many people do you know died from it personally?
No, none.
See, and I agree the same thing. Like, I'm not asking you guys out here, how many people do you know who's died from it, or anyone you know who's contracted it, right? So if I'm pissed, my mom has to work, through the quarantine, lockdown, it's almost impossible to avoid the corona doing it. Yeah, exactly. It is, you know. But at the same time, people got to carry on, man. We're gonna do. Boris Johnson will announce a lockdown very soon. Dang, man, listen, you can't lock down London, bruh. It's not happening, bro. You can't do that. Yeah. What about you? Anyway, is LA locked down? How about you want London to lock down? That's funny, you know. What's my man? That's funny. The thing isn't about dying. It's about results, yeah, and the lack of it, yeah. That's the main thing. Man, we don't even know what results, and I don't know anyone who knows died from it yet. Still, I'm not questioning it. She works for NHS. Yeah, that's serious stuff, man. Serious stuff there, bro. BG London. Hospital can only take so many people. Yeah, it's true. Well, you know what I'm saying? What's Dan saying? We're on lockdown in Cali. Yeah? So tell me about the lockdown, Cali. Tell me the lockdown. Oh, Truth Expression. What's up? What's up, man? Madness right now. Yeah. If you don't know, make sure you guys go sub to Truth Expression, bro. It's one of the hottest channels over YouTube. They were discussing the corona. I was on their show I think it was 2 days ago, actually. What's it? What's that? I'm gonna put a link in the chat. You guys can jump in. Let me put a link in the chat if anyone wants to jump in. Yo, Destiny, you want to jump in? Oh, I'll put it in the thing. You just jump in and just give you a piece because I let everyone give their take. I'm gonna put it into the Google chat. Destiny, 1 second. See if PMC going to jump in, my man. PMC. What's D saying my name for? D is always calling my name out. Say my name, say my name. All right, so there's the link in the chat. Y'all, you're welcome. Come on down. You know what I'm saying? Jump in. Oh, in Toronto, it's an emergency state. In Toronto? Real? Oh, shit. But still, like, even in emergency state, Dan, SSB 28. Like, who do you know's died, though? Who do you know's died? Even Truth Express Truth, my bad. Express Truth. Who do you know's died? Like, can someone give me someone they've known or they know contracted it? Give me some tangible evidence other than what I'm seeing on the news. It's fake news. I don't know what it is. But I listen. I'm just asking the questions. You know what I'm saying? So what's Dan saying? No one I know has died. See? Exactly. See, Dan's saying the same thing, Destiny. He's in LA. How come everyone I talk to says the same thing? But we're supposed to be on lockdown. You were wearing gloves, EJ, or or you don't give a damn. No, I'm wearing gloves. No, I'm wearing the gloves. I do give a damn. I'm just asking the questions though. You know what I'm saying? Giving a dialogue to this thing. I'm not trying to say I'm ignoring it. I'm not gonna say that, but I'm just saying like let's ask the questions. You know what I'm saying? Anyone I know who's died from it, who do you know has contracted it, and then in terms of the things they're saying, so you can't go here, you can't go there. I mean, London, Boris is only asking the question. He's asking people to shut down. But as you can hear by the guy, the puppy, he don't want to shut down. Unless you're gonna how can they go into action and force you to shut down your business? They can't do that because people need to drink. People like getting drunk. People like, you know, some people are rich, you know, and some people are rich, they got money, bro. And you know, in this it's funny because this disease, who's recovered though? That's a good question, BG London. That's a good question. See, there we go. Who's recovered from it? Who you know's got it and recovered it? Why ain't they putting out the recoveries? That's what I'm saying. We what we can't. We should be able to answer like freely. We're adults to ask questions. That's the questions that they're not putting Boris under them sort of questions. Who do you know is recovered? Is recovering from it. You know what I'm saying? If they recover, can they catch it again? You know, that's what's up. And like I said to you, man, the stopping people from going certain areas, yeah. If look, you was asked this is the truth, right? This right. We was asked to stay at home if we've got it in. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right. So now you haven't got it. So why should you stay at home?
No, not just that. We have to stay indoors so that we don't get it.
Yeah. All right. I'm out here to my man truth. Yeah.
They can't do that. People need to drink. They got it. They gotta stay indoors. People that don't have it, we still gotta stay indoors so we don't get it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
All right.
So people don't. It doesn't spread.
Yeah. Exactly. What's up, truth?
Yo, well, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, bro. How you saying? First time over, man. How you doing? You right?
Yeah, what you saying? Yeah, man, I just seen your live stream still. It's madness right now out here, man.
Yeah. So what? Where you at? You're in Birmingham, yeah?
Yeah, man, Birmingham, everything's locked down, man. Like
Handwork,
everything's like, yeah, man, it's like ghost town, fam.
Yeah. I mean, it is like they over here as well. But let me ask you a question. See, the guy from the pub who runs the pubs, he's saying, nah, bomb that, Bridget. I'm not shutting down my pubs. What you think about that?
Nah, you have to, because what they're saying now,
yeah,
if you don't shut down, you can get fined and that.
No, who say Boris ain't saying that? No,
nah, these are the rumors, fam. They're saying they're gonna start because what they're saying, they're gonna start enforcing the thing.
All right, but this go by what's actually been said. This is what I do, right?
Yeah,
so this is what she was saying about the army lockdown. But I know Londoners, right? People in London, you can't do that. You can't, like, I know. Say you're outside, and they said London is different. Like they said, what's the mayor says anyway to us, yeah. We're on top of the situation. I already know, yeah, in a free democracy, right, where people have free expression and stuff like that, and it's exactly expression of the truth, yeah. You can't lock people down. Like, there's no soldier can come out else and say you can't go nowhere. And then on top of that, there's no paperwork like France, yeah. Because see, France and them countries, the reason why they do paperwork because they have terrorists, right? So they already got paperwork and things they had already in place, yeah, to sign up where you're going, this, that, the other. In London or England, yeah, it's very hard for them to do that. So the Prime Minister has asked people to shut down places, but he knows he can't enforce that. He can't enforce that thing. He's only wants your corporation, though. Now, if he does that, this is the thing, yeah. This is the thing I worry about, right? Where do we people go to congregate? Because people have
family, man, are gonna have to. What I'm saying, yeah, we're gonna have. This has never happened before. So we're gonna have to take some time out and relax ourselves. Like, man, we can't love road that much that we have to go on road. Like, just relax for a couple of weeks, man, because what they want to try and control the spreading of it. So if everybody's in pubs and cinemas and restaurants, you can't have not spreading the thing. Yeah, but what they're trying to do, EJ, yeah, they don't want everyone going to the hospital. They don't want the NHS. The NHS can't deal with all of us sick at once. Yeah, they can't, fam. They can't deal with it. So they're trying to keep everyone. At least I know if I'm in my yard, my missus is here, my kids are here. We know, all right, safe. We're in the yard, we're safe. But you see, if you're going cinema, pub, restaurant, and you're mixing with other people, they're trying to get this thing under control. So that's what we see now. Now, you're right, so they can't really say, well, where is it? Is it Cyprus where they're saying that only one person can leave the yard to go and get supplies? I was in Costco yesterday, big up Costco in Neachels, yeah, bro. It was a madness. The queue was right round the block. People's trolleys was ram. Like, you can't even get nappies right now down here. I've been to probably every Morrison's, every Tesco in Brum.
Bruh, there's nappies down here.
There's no nappies down here.
Oh, that's horrible, man. That's horrible, man.
We ain't got no nappy. I got a 2-year-old fam right now. We're down to like our last 10 nappies. You get me? Any promise in this thing? We got yourself.
Now there's nappies in my Tesco. I saw nappies in there today. I was just, yeah, my Tesco's. Yo, Destiny, come off the phone, jump in the hangout in it. I'll put the link in the chat. Jump in the hangout in it. Jump in because yeah, nice one. Yeah, look, listen to this, bro. Listen to this.
Yeah, man. Talk to you, man.
This is a serious thing here, Carl. When we saw the thing, it's like it's gone stages up, right? So right now, they haven't got to the point of the lockdown, but everyone's saying that's where it's going and understanding, yeah. But right now, let me tell you something, bro. This thing, yeah, to me, yeah, is like, bro. You see this thing when people say you can't do something, that's when people wild out. The problem I'm worrying about, right? This is where it gets crazy, is that people who are not on any sort of benefit, whatever, when you ask them to go home and say you don't know what you're paychecking, what are them people gonna do? You understand? That's what I'm worried about. What are them people?
From EJ, they're gonna basically what they're saying is this. You see, everybody who's not getting no work because of this thing, if you got sent home or you're on unpaid leave, the government will pay 80% of your wage, fam. That's what's gonna go on. Boris said that himself.
Yeah, but you got to call one number and wait for some forms. How long that's gonna take for fill out some forms? By the time they're dead, you're dead off after that. That's what they take long. That's what the guy in the pub, yeah, is saying. In the meantime, while they fill out them thing there, they should be allowed to work because he's only asked you. He's only asking people. That's what the guy in the pub said. Well, boy, the pub hasn't. This pub has not got that many people in there anyway. That's what I'm saying to you. This is where I agree with him, right? To keep people doing stuff until they're all there. See, the thing is, yeah, if you keep working or doing what you're doing while you're getting, and then they give you forms to fill out, then you can go home. Then that's cool. But that's not what's happening. People ask to go home, and they ain't got no money. Now they're gonna get desperate and start do silliness.
No. That's what it's gonna lead up to if they don't.
Yeah, that's why the guy in the pub said. The man in the pub said, I want to leave the pubs open because he understands, yeah, the desperation of when people can't. Like you're not in control of the situation. The people are gonna start panicking.
Yeah, now but the people that ain't gonna come to fam. There's a geezer what I know who's got a pub up in the end, yeah.
Yeah,
and he's saying that it's that dead. He's only getting like 6 people passing through there.
Yeah, that's all right.
But what I'm saying is, people are scared to come out anyway. Unless it's for supplies. There's even like Uber Eats and delivery. Them things are running at half price down here right now.
Oh yeah, that's all right though.
People ain't risking their hygiene. People ain't risking this thing because even if like what fitness going on, so
you good, mama? Come on in.
He's healthy. Someone could have asthma that lives in your house. You could have an elder, like we said on my show the other day. You could have an elder who you go and check. Like this is a serious thing. We can't play with this thing.
Yeah, no.
So it's better.
No, I'm not taking it lightly, but I do understand that people are gonna do what they're gonna do. That's what I do understand. You see what I'm saying to you? So you got the other side of people who are gonna listen to what the government are telling you. The other side is saying like, yo, fuck that, bro. I'm going where I'm going. I ain't got shit. I'm rolling up. That's the other side of it. You have to be, you know what I'm saying? Like we're talking like being practical, you know what I mean? I'm talking about the people who are not practical and are selfish and that's gonna do what they're gonna do. And that the pub man understands that. That's the pub man don't care. Like he's saying, like, look, the pub's gonna be open. And look, listen to this, right? So this is my routine now, yeah. In my house, wait until a certain time, about 5 or 6 in the morning, go Tesco's, see little things, try to top up, back in the yard. That's the routine. That's the routine. But it's insane. Then yeah, the pub man now, he got the routine now. He go in, shit. Yeah. This get picked. I'm gonna go to the pub.
Oh, you want me to come out?
Yo, hold up. Smoke. 1 minute, smoke. 1 minute. I'll put you on mute. Yeah. The pub man, he's the pub man. The pub man, yeah, he's got a routine. I'm not a pub guy, but I don't listen. All I'm saying,
yeah, like me, I'm not a pub man either. Family, this is all about. There was a thing in Broadwalk. I don't know if you like watch Broadwalk Empire where a man said, "You see, most of a man's problems are down to how well he can be by himself." Like most people, they can't stay in the yard. They can't. Family, this is nothing. You're in your house. You're in your castle. Just top up your food and relax, man, until this thing.
No, bro, you can't. I understand that. But all right, listen. So you see, yeah, like certain people, like obviously work all the time. They're barely in their house, so they can enjoy that thing for a month or two. But for the people who are usually in the house more time, it's a headache. But let me bring in my man Smoke, cause Smoke's still in there. What's up, Smoke? You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, what's your all right, Smoke? And let me ask you a question because you man's in there. Do you before we start, right? Because before we jump in, Truth, yeah. Do you know anyone who's died from it or contracted it?
No, it
No,
is a sad
not
day
who's
for my family.
contracted or died.
So it is a sad day for my family because my sister-in-law died, but totally unrelated.
So let me. So this again, yeah. So truth first, and then get the smoke after. Truth. Do you know anyone who's contracted it, right? Or anyone you know who's got it? Anything?
No.
No, I don't know. No one who's contracted or died from it. No.
And this is the question that I've been asking, because I understand what statistics they're telling me, but I don't know anyone who's died from it or anything. That's what I'm and I'm not gonna come out and say like EJ is gonna come out and say this thing's a fraud thing or this is no. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that hold on, I don't know anyone who's died from it, but yet I'm here it's killing millions of people and everyone's catching it and it's contagious and everything. But I don't know no one who's died from it. Now I don't want to catch it. I don't want nothing to do with it, but this is what I'm hearing, and everyone I've asked you is the same. But Smoke, give us your take anyway on what you've heard and thus far, and what's your situation over there where you are?
I'll start with the last part first. The situation here is, the United States, there's 50 different states. You have a federal government, right? The president is the head of the federal government, but the individual states have governors, right? So I'm in California. The governor has put the whole state on lockdown. It's there's nothing open past midnight. Only the stores are open. There's no place to go actually. So you can go outside, but nothing's open. Even the restaurants are only takeout. You can't actually eat in. And then my take on it is it's very contagious, right? So I'm never really worried about the same flu that people in England have, that people in China have, that people in France have, that people in Italy have, like whatever. So this one is the same flu that everybody's getting. The issue is like who is actually at risk, and it seems to be people over the age of 65 with pre-existing health conditions, right? So really what we're talking about is how do we treat our elderly, and to what lengths will we go to make sure that our old people are safe, and what inconveniences will we tolerate to bring to make sure that they're healthy and happy.
So we're talking about older people, right?
Yeah, we're talking about older people and sick people.
All right. So again, yeah, like we've all got older people in our families, yeah. Do you know if they've got it? Do you know any older people who've got it?
Do I know it? No, but okay. So I have a father who is on dialysis, right? He has kidney failure, and so he was in the hospital like for something unrelated, like when this thing hit.
Yeah. I got
right.
I got you. No, I understand. And you're trying to say, obviously, through his condition, if the corona hits, it could be very deadly. I understand. I get that. I get that. But
right.
See,
there's just an at risk. It's just the at risk group, right? And then so what everybody's doing to protect this at risk group, like the hospital is now shut down and not even accepting visitors.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I got that. Yeah. But you see, this is the thing, right? This is the thing, right? They said that the flu normally kills. I remember. I don't know the statistic. How many people are thing now? I'm not. I'm not no conspiracy because I don't really do that. But I just want some truth and some facts about the thing. I don't know. I know a lot of people, right? I know a lot of people, and I'm not saying I talk to everyone online, but everyone I've seen online is that I heard this guy's got it. Like EZRA ADIR got it, but then you look into it, it's like where it could affect his asthma because he has asthma. He's got it. And certain people, Tom Hanks has got it. This guy's got it. So, okay, you've got it. But where's the other side of it? Saying, well, boy, what are you doing to get over it? And are you getting over it? And if you got over it, are you liable to catch it again? These are the things, the question I want answers for, because all I'm hearing is lockdown, shutdown, with no reasonable date or time. You know what I mean? And I understand this, and that's where it's worrying, because at this point it's like, you're saying lockdown, but you're not giving no times. Now, in effect, we're prisoners in our house, in our mind. You get me? And that's where I'm coming from. Someone who's never been locked down or in a situation where we're saying you can't go somewhere, but you can go somewhere, but you shouldn't go somewhere. Then what's a person supposed to do? What people are gonna do? You know, what is the human with that state of mind? What are they gonna do? They're gonna start doing some funny stuff, bro. You know what I'm trying to say? If they're not doing it already, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Truth. Say something.
I think, like, 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 I It's messy, man. It's messy, fam. That's it. I just think we need to limit. We need to. We can't be we can't carry on as normal with what's going on. You see that they're trying to copy what China did in it, and you see that China started from. They're recording we got no new cases recorded allegedly.
Yeah.
So I think that the British government, they're trying to do a thing similar to that, where if we can all if they can try and contain it a little bit, get it under control. So if
find
there
out,
is,
find out who's got it. Yeah, find
they
out
don't
who's
have
got
loads
it.
of cases. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? They can't afford to have all these cases at once. So I just think, as the government have come out and said they're going to pay people's wages. That's But man should be comfortable in his yard, fam. I'm nice. I could sit down there from now to a hell of a long. From I got food, I got tread in my yard. My youth, them's around me, my girls here. You know what I'm saying? I'm nice.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, but see, the thing is, that's all right. Yeah, that's nice everyday thing. But listen, it gets chippy, bro. You need to people need to come out the yard, man. And, you know, I'm just hoping because we're in spring, the sun come out already. Let me tell you something. When the sun come out, how are you going to enforce people to stay in their yard? If the sun lick out tomorrow, why people going to feel like they can? All I want to do, personally, I feel like to jump on a plane, go somewhere where it's sun, put my foot in the hot water, and look in the sky and see fish. I swear down. I want to go somewhere.
Yeah, but it's worldwide though. So even if you did all that, so by the way, flights are really inexpensive right now, so you can afford to fly anywhere. It's just as soon as you touch down, you're going to be touching down in a place that's quarantined also.
Yeah, but it ain't even. You know what it is though, bro. It's not even though, like, my parents were meant to be going to. I think they were going Gambia, and that got cancelled, and they ain't even got no cases recorded. So the places that haven't got no cases ain't accepting people from where there is cases. And I think you saw what I mean. So so you can't just say you got. You know what I mean? People have to just relax for a bit. If you want some fresh air, go and jog around the block. You know what I mean? That's it. Get your physical, jog around the block, and that's it. You're nice, but try and disinfect things. And there's a lot to be learned from this, man. There's a lot of hygiene things, practices that need to change and things after this.
I reckon even after this is gone down, people are still going to be on it, because you see in Asia, because I watch a lot like boxing in Asia and China, they wear masks all the time. They just wear it. They've been wearing it for years. I don't know what kind of nastiness they do down there, but they've been wearing it. I think after this this pandemic is still going, I think people are still going to adopt of wearing the mask and the thing in it. It's like you're just going to have people walk around with the mask on their face from now on. They don't care. You know what I mean? I think we got to a point where it's like 9/11, where things are never going to be the same again. This is going to be the norm now. For how long? Like, people just going to be wearing masks and shit. Worldwide, it's a minimum wage.
Yeah. It's I think it will. I think people keep wearing their latex gloves. In the queue in Costco, everyone had on masks, latex gloves. You see what I mean? People had on all kind of things. There's like a bucket hat as well with a plastic thing over the front. Nice. So you see what I mean? People will continue to be doing things even after this dies down. But I reckon we got I'm guessing, this is just me saying, I think if they can try and contain this thing, we'll have 6 weeks of this.
Fuck, that's a long time.
Now, it is long. It is very long. It is very long, and a lot of things are changing. Like I think it's Universal, the film studio, are saying that they're going to start showing the films that are meant to be in the cinemas. You can rent them online, so people don't have to go cinema. So a lot of things are going to change, like just how we live. It's like a lot of stuff's going to change.
Okay, so let's talk about. Yeah, so let's talk about. Okay, we talk about the L. We tapped on the LD, right? So let's talk on the people overweight and fat. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? They're gonna die, man. They're gonna die, man. The people overweight, who just they order food anyway. So now, how are they getting around and doing that? Because all the sports centers for them to lose weight has gone. What are they gonna do? So let's talk on that. On people overweight.
It's an aerobics thing, fam. It's an aerobics thing.
In the yard,
you're gonna have to get your Professor Clump on. and put the old VHS in or the DVD and start doing the touching your toes and all that. Because the gyms are shut, fam.
Yeah.
And if you want to take it from there, you're gonna have to jog around the block. Yeah, the gyms are shut, man.
Yeah, no, they're shut.
The gym.
Yeah, they're shutting up. The gyms are
So
shut.
you're gonna have to you're gonna have to do some home stuff, some jogging on the spot and squats and some planking and them type of things.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? What do you think? Smoke. Smoke. Smoke might be busy. EJ, what's it? EJ, you should train. Yeah, I'm not like fat people overweight. They're gonna get fatter. They're gonna have all kind of heart problem and yamming out the thing, bro. You know what I'm trying to say to you, like, but look, because the exercise they got is just going from. At least they go to the shopping center and come back. Do you reckon it's gonna get to the point? Yeah, truth, yeah. Do you reckon it's getting to the point where they're gonna lock down the shopping center and say you can just order online?
You mean as far as food or clothing?
Yeah. No, just food. Yeah, that's a good point. Clothing. It's gonna get to the point where they're gonna just like you can't. There's no more congregate because look, this is what I'm saying. Where this congregate thing is going, it's very touchy. You get me? Where it's saying we're asking you now to close down the thing. They're gonna say to him, "Well, we're asking you now to close down the shoppers, to close down Tesco's and all them thing there. You can't order. So now I can't just go there no more. I have to order online."
Potentially.
What do you think about that?
Yeah. That could potentially happen. Yeah. That could potentially happen.
That's messed up, innit? You see? That's messed up, innit? Because that's why I feel like it's going that way. Because if you're saying that you can't go congregate in certain areas, then why are people congregating in food banks, in food areas? It wouldn't that be a risk? Everyone's quiet on that. Everyone's quiet on that question.
Why are people things cutting out? Is it my signal or is that?
I don't know. Did you hear what I said?
Me?
Yeah, I can hear you clear. Yeah.
Okay, so
I can hear you. I can hear you. Okay, so yeah, I was saying about like I was saying about if they're shutting, they're asking to shut down the cafes. What's making them shut the supermarkets? Why wouldn't they just shut the supermarkets and make people shop online and clothes and food online? I guess he's having signal problems right now. Anyway, I'll read the chat. Smoke's on mute by the way as well. 1 day lockdown. I was too. What's it? 1 day lockdown. I've ate too much already. Exactly. I'm only too much on YouTube. Exactly. It's boring, man. It's boring.
Yeah. I'm back in now. I don't know what's going on there.
All right. So what the question is, yeah, right, about the if they lock down the pub, this is why I'm not really for locking down the pubs. If they're gonna lock down the pubs and say we don't want people congregating there, so what's the problem with them saying locking down the superstores, all the Tesco's and all them things there, the Asda's and all them things there?
Why don't you know what it is? We need those things. You know what it is? I think that you enter. But that's why I said that it's gonna be. I think they'll do what they're doing in Cyprus, where they'll say one person go there. I think that's how they'll do it because we need groceries, don't we? That's the one thing. But wouldn't that be a potential risk? Is that people are mingling in the shopping centers? That's potential risk right there. If anything, that's more risk than the pub. Definitely, 100%. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that if you really want to limit the damn thing, yeah, then you need to. Then eventually, people are gonna have to shop online. If you really want to get technical with it, you know what I mean? Because that would limit any sort of thingy. But if you start doing that, this is where it starts getting. This is where I say, because the thing is, I don't go to the pub. You don't go to the pub. I'm not bothered. But the pub man is pissed off. They can't go to the pub, do their thing, drink their drink and whatever. Yeah, the pub man never vets. Well, yeah, you can drink beer at home. You can drink beer at home, man. Not the same, man. They like the fellowship, man. They like fellowship. See, like now, we're all right. We're used to online. Me and you are used to online, right? So now you got the family. Yeah. Now the family they're saying you can't go Tesco's. I'm just giving them, putting it out there. I'm not saying this is right now. You can't go Tesco's. You can't, anything you want, you have to buy online. Then, right, you're like, bruh, you order stuff online, you order food online. So the food comes, the man comes with the glove, the man comes with the helmet, the man, here's you are, this and that. So now you're in your house, you've seen all the box sets, you've seen everything. I want to go out. There's army out on the road saying, where are you going? Yo!
that there is a prison state, bro. That's where we don't want to be. So I'm not for this lockdown thing entirely. For me, I don't like the prison thing. You know, I don't like it. It's all right. It's okay. Like, truth, it's okay for now, and I agree with you. But boy, after a month, that's like 3 weeks. Yeah, then we'll have a conversation again. If we get that,
yeah, it will be difficult, man. If you're a man who's constantly on the road as well, it's gonna be difficult. You're gonna be very, very bored. But
yeah. So what's your next topic gonna be on your show? Then you can still gonna continue talking about this. Yeah, what's your next topic on your show? You still gonna be talking about this on your show?
I think it's to kind of come after Corona. We've done about 3, but I just done a premiere with one of the one of them on the show. That's why I was still online. Like, I just premiered it. For some reason the views froze, and then I just premiered that. So then I seen you online. So I said, yo, let me jump in your thing. I've never seen you on live before, fam.
Yeah, boy. So, listen, I'm just kind of from the conversation we had the other day. I mean, I did really and truly. I'm a boxer. I just like talking about boxing. Most of the people here that's boxing guys, yeah. They talk about SSB talking about martial law. It could happen, right? But what I'm saying is that the work that, look, I have to really address the issues of the day, even though boxing is not the number one topic, you know, Wilder and all them things there. But the issue of the day to me, and really bothered me, right, is just the idea of like, okay, you know, you're asking Londoners to do something. You know, you're not enforcing it, which is good. But, you know, I don't see how they could. I still don't see how you can enforce Londoners to do that. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie. You asking Londoners to do something and then enforcing it is another thing. Even when he's got his, that's why I got his fist out. You guys must shut down the thing. You must do this to the other. He's asking the question. The police cannot come round lawfully and tell you to shut your business. That's not into law. And in Congress, right, in the House of the Parliament, I don't see how anyone's going to pass a law to say, yeah, you have to shut your business. I can't see that law. That can't be a law to go through, because you see, the thing is, we have a House of Parliament where people vote on stuff, right, and then it goes through. But then even if it goes through, the people can put a petition against it. You understand what I'm saying to you? And that's what the guy from the pub is saying. He's saying, well, you've asking me, but I'm not gonna shut my pubs. Which I'm saying, yeah, don't shut the pubs. Leave it, or leave the people a little avenue where people can come out their yard and socialize a bit. For the people are not or not got a condition. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
So right, so you can leave it. I mean, you can leave it up to.
I'm pretty sure they can stop you from open, because when he's saying like shops, like when he's saying like pubs, gyms, and them places to shop. So you mean to tell me that if you've got a small gym, you can keep it open, or if you got a pub, you can keep it open, even though he said those places should shut? Yeah,
I think you should keep it open. I think you should keep it open if you want to keep it open. I think I should have the right to keep it open if you want to. I'm just saying to you, like, I'm seriously, because look, we live in with democracy now. Guy, what's his name? SSB talking about a riot now. So if we get to the state where we're rioting, we're looting, yeah, then we can put laws in to say people have to stay at home. We have martial law, 100%. But we're not at that stage yet. So for you to put, there's certain things need to happen for the government or the forces. But even when they enforce that on their citizens, for the army to come into the city and do that kind of thing, that's some dictatorship, bro. Like, the thing is, the Western countries always battle against the dictator. What's his name again? Saddam Hussein and Colonel Gaddafi. They always battling that, but that's what the England and America becoming a dictatorship. You know what I'm saying? And that's it's not like that right now.
I don't know if you guys have the same sort of apparatuses or the same structure.
I hear you completely.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead. Yeah, Smoke. Right. Go ahead, Smoke. Go ahead.
But we have health and safety departments, like, just other departments within the government that also are issuing like these edicts. So what we have now in the state or in California is something called social distancing, where you can't be 6 feet even when you're in an establishment. The establishment has to create these protocols where the patrons are 6 feet away from each other. Mm-hmm. So even at some supermarkets, they're they're controlling the flow of who goes in, so there's not so many people in the store at one time. And this idea, it's not so much let me thumb my nose at authority, or I'm just going to stay open because I'm used to staying open, and I'm not going to follow the guidelines because I don't know anybody who has attracted COVID. There's a way to actually even curb those people who don't want to comply. There's still going to be apparatuses in place, so those people still will have to deal with the new realities, and it's going to affect everybody's bottom line. There's just no way, like what you're saying, right? Even let's say you have a guy who's just openly defiant. Mm-hmm. Is everyone going to go to that one club? And then if they do, that's going to not only create a health hazard, but any number of other things are going to stem from that. And like the guy was saying, there's already the healthcare systems in most countries are already already overworked, trying to catch up to COVID. So even if you have a broken arm, it's a problem right now. Like I was saying at the top, my sister-in-law just passed, and getting her buried right now is a problem because of COVID-19.
No, 100%. You see, that's a good point. You see, that's a good point. So you're bringing up other things other than the COVID. Yeah, breaking arms, people injure themselves. You got people at home, they could hurt themselves, or anything could happen to them and stuff like that. You're right, 100%. The medical thing is stretched, 100%. But at the same token, yeah, you could, like you said, you could fall down the stairs, something could happen to you, and this and that, and then you can't go to the medical thing. I'll be honest with you, I'm not trying to say I got the right answers. I just believe at this point, yeah, I think a knee-jerk reaction of just shutting everything down. I believe that they're doing the right thing, right? But I do also believe in that when I talk to you guys and ask you, do you know anyone who's got it? No way, no one says. This is the same question I've asked everyone I've talked to, because that's the first one coming. I was like, because I thought initially everyone's got it. So this is what I'm saying. I initially was scared of everyone, thinking, bro, this guy probably got it. That's what was going through my mind. But when I asked you, do you know, have you got the symptoms? Well, no. Well, I haven't. I don't feel I got the symptoms. No. So then I asked, have you got it? They said, no, I haven't got it. Do you know anyone who's got it? No one's really asking these questions. Let's find out who's got it. Like, find out who's got it, who has the symptoms.
Specifically to answer that question, I don't have it. I don't know anyone who has it, but I do know people who know people. So my brother at his job, they have a couple of cases. My cousin at her job, they have a couple of cases where, I was going back and forth visiting my dad in the hospital. That hospital has a couple of cases. It's like that.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, I hear what you're saying about, I want some tangible evidence. That's what I want. I want some tangible evidence. And I want, I want a cure. You know what I mean? I want a cure. I want to see if this person, I want to see how they're getting through it. Because as far as I can understand, it's like a common cold. It's a common cold, and it's just a strand of a common cold, but it's more powerful, and it attacks your lungs and stuff like that. Mucus or whatever attacks your lungs and your heart.
I don't think it's more powerful. I just think it's more contagious. I think it's just highly communicable, so everybody can get it. But I don't think the death toll is particularly high. I think it's, like I said, it's like 3%, 2%, 3% of the people. But it's so contagious that if everybody gets it, 2 or 3% of people over 65 with pre-existing conditions, now you're talking about 180 million people.
Yeah. No, I agree. But you see, the thing is, yeah, like, listen, to curb the panic on the thing, people need to have answers, man, and stop, because a lot of people were thinking in their head. A lot of people just doing any and anything just to curb it. Italy has 16% death rate. That's what we're hearing about Italy. I mean, all I know is this year, the pubs and stuff like that, a man has a right to earn his money. And if they're going to compensate him, then fine. If they're not, I don't know what that man's going to do. What that man's going to do, I'm talking about that man on the road who can't earn no money. He's been laid off his work. They're saying you can't come back to work. And he don't see where he's getting money from. That guy is a danger. What do you think he's going to go do? He needs to go feed his family. He's going to brack into someone's yard, bruv. Just go steal their toilet paper. People are going to start doing madness, bruv.
That's already happening here. Like, there's you have your big supermarkets, and then you have your local shops, and one of the in certain neighborhoods, they have these agents. It's like immigrants who open these shops, right? They come into the neighborhood and they open these little stores. But one of the stores started gouging the people, and that store just got broken into and looted. Like they, they wouldn't let you like buy flats of water. You had to buy individual water for 4 rolls of toilet paper. I had to pay $8 for it, right? For so the people just broke into the store and started,
looting it. Yeah. Because over here, there's a guy. I'm not too saying the guy. He's charging 10 pounds for a toilet roll. In it, like in its truth, 10 pounds of toilet roll, and people pull them out on YouTube now. And it's a shame they put them on YouTube because people might just roll up to that shop and start do the owner problems. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why he felt like he had to turn the prices up for the toilet roll, right, to make more money. But the people trying to capitalize off this situation. But let me tell you something: you can get more money if you want, but bro, if you ain't got your health, it don't mean nothing. People can try and capitalize and try to be rich from it, but you ain't got no money. You can listen. Money ain't gonna save you in this shit, in this situation right here. Tell you right now, it's quite deadly. But anyway, I thought I just brought up the conversation about about the theaters and the restaurants. Boris's ARC situation is we still haven't got to the point where we're on martial law yet and the army's coming to the city and controlled. You know what I'm saying? But Tesla's got
it's not martial law, but the cinemas are closed. The public spaces are mostly closed, so there's just nothing to do. So it's just like even if you can go places, but the places are closed. You can hang out in the park, but social distancing. So be 6 feet away from everybody.
Yeah, but this the thing about Boris though. Yeah, he's asked people though, isn't it? Like it's asked the question. You know what I'm saying? It's not put on people on the Londoners yet to say you have to. That's what I'm saying to you. He's asked strongly for you to shut down your business. That's where we are at this minute. You know what I mean?
Can the mayor do this unilaterally, or does it take the prime minister to make this thing happen for London?
What do you mean? What, to make everyone shut their businesses?
Like can the mayor say, or do you guys have a governor, the mayor, like can they, whoever's in control of the province, at the local level, can they put a plan into fruition, or does it have to be a prime minister?
Well, it have to be the prime minister, but the prime minister hasn't got. There's no laws of that to say. There's no laws in stages where, because you got a pandemic, that he has the authority to shut businesses right now. He haven't got. That's not in place. That's not in place. And I don't think the people in the UK are gonna vote for that, man. They're not going. Not so far, unless the toll gets even worse. There's not right now. So that's why he's been asked the question. He strongly urges people to shut down their business, and most people will. But this guy saying, I'm not going to shut down, and I'm not going to shut down my pub. And the day I'll take a piece. I say I even take a pay cut, but I'm not going to shut down because there's not been proven that in pubs the virus is spreading there. So
you guys have a longer history, so you have you can go back to the Dark Ages, to the bubonic plague.
Yeah,
and the turn of the last century with typhoid and all that stuff. So I don't know. Maybe you guys are more resilient in what it is you think that it'll just pass. Mm-hmm. But or maybe it's just less bureaucracy. I'm not quite sure what the disconnect is. Why we are handling this thing different than you guys, or maybe it's just fewer people and you guys are an island. I really don't know.
I think it's because you see America. See your country's called the 50? Is the 51st state? What are you called?
The 50 states, United States. It's 50 of them.
Yeah, there's 50 of them. So the states are independent. England is not like that. It's not like that. So you have the prime minister, you have the queen obviously, or the king, and then you have the prime minister, and then you have the House of the Parliament, and then you have the mayor. Right, so it's a lot of chains going down, but there's no laws in place that if this pandemic goes in, that there's gonna be martial law on the citizens. That's not happening, because right now I don't see how they enforce that, bro. Because even the army, people in the army, they're concerned about their family, and the police are concerned about their family. So how are they putting martial law on you? Then who's looking after their family?
Right, and that's the other part. If the soldiers are so interested in their family, who the hell's going to a pub? There's just social pressures, right? So even if you are defiant and it's you know what, there's no laws in the books and you can't make me do anything, there's still the social pressures and social anxiety of trying to keep your families and friends safe.
Yeah, exactly. So what's the point? You know what I mean? But there's no point. You're gonna go out. You're gonna out there try and enforce something out there. And what are you gonna do? You're gonna put them in prison. You're gonna lock people up. You know what I'm saying? In Korea, they're saying Doomku King, the dictator, he's locking people up. That's what I'm hearing. He's locking people up in prison if we heard they got the damn thing. But I don't know if that's propaganda. I don't know what's going on.
They locked an American up for taking the poster down. So I imagine locking up happens a lot for a bunch of different reasons.
Why did America take the poster? He wasn't allowed to take the poster down. Why did he take the poster down?
Oh, because he's an American. And he just felt like he could take the poster down like he could in America. And that was the worst decision he ever made in his life. And he didn't have very many decisions left. Like they returned that dude a corpse. He died 2 weeks after they returned him, after being in prison for 6 or 8 months or something like that.
Yeah, well, you should behave yourself when you go. When in Rome, do what Romans do. That's what we say in England, bro. Why?
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. I'm not saying that what Korea did was wrong. I'm just saying that they lock people up. Like the fact that they're locking up people for Corona, they just lock people up. That's their knee-jerk reaction to a lot of things. Yeah. No, I get
that. Yeah, I mean, this is where we are right now, boys. It's right now, the shopping centers are still open. The Tesco's are still open. The Asda's are open. The Marks and Spencers, they're still operating right now, and people could still, especially the workers who still getting a little money, but they're putting themselves at risk as well. I think about it, like the people who are doing work and anything, they're putting themselves at risk as well. With the customers coming in and stuff like that, any of them customers could have anything as well. I think they really need to think about with the workers coming out, they need to put a plan in place where the workers are covered in terms of health. Like they have masks and they have the appropriate stuff, and that's not even been implemented now. You know what I'm trying to say to you? People, I say, look, this is why I put it like this. People who work in environments, they have to, if you're going to work if you're open, if your pub is open, you should have the certain things. You should wear gloves. You should have the mask. You should have something like that to cover yourself. You know what I'm saying? Then maybe you could operate your business. But that's just try and be safe with it, I guess. I don't know if that's going to help.
That's part of, we're not just a global village, but we also have a global economy. And part of that, what we're starting to see is that most of the masks and even the gloves are made in China, where the pandemic comes from. So,
oh shit, that's a good thing. Hey, why when Iran, when this thing, how come that no one was talking about Iran when this whole thing kicked out? You know what I mean? Like Iran and China, they got it around the same time. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, I remember hearing about it, but I'm not on the pulse of it like that. And I'm like you. I'm to the extent that I don't really want to have my infringed on. I don't want to have my freedoms infringed on. So I wasn't really paying attention to it like that. It was China, it was Iran, and this is also part of this. Could get a little political, but we have a bunch of sort of center right regimes in the world right now. Even in the Western world, we have a bunch of conservative governments that are in control right now. And most of those guys lean toward, they seem to have a healthy distrust of science and lean on their own understanding and opinions. And maybe that's part of what this thing is. Like China definitely has essentially a dictator. Iran definitely essentially has a dictator. And, here in America, Trump was like, it's all a big hoax. That was his stance from the jump. It wasn't until he was even declaring a state of emergency that he said that, this was a serious thing. All the way up until the point he declared a state of emergency, he was talking about it as a hoax.
Really?
Dana White, the reason Dana White gave for continuing on with the UFC was that President Trump asked him to.
He shut it down now. Right?
He went to Brazil and he said that he's going to try to figure out a way. They're talking about doing it in international waters and all this stuff.
Man, he's crazy, man. Shut that down, bro. Listen. I'm saying shut it down, but I'm saying keep the pubs open. So, bro. But that's mass gatherings, though, isn't it? That's a mass gathering, man.
No, you saw the last. I don't know if you saw the last UFC, Kevin Lee versus Cowboy Oliver. Anyway, it was in an empty arena. It was in an empty arena in Brazil. It was hell weird. Yeah, it's very strange. Yeah,
the empty arena. Listen, bro. This is Donald Trump. Yeah, talking about fake news stuff like the other. See, the thing is now people are looking at him like, bro, this guy's a bit stupid. Whoever voted him in, they must be thinking he's this guy. See, if that was President Obama, I think he would have took it seriously from the jump, bro. I think it would took it from serious from
Yeah,
the jump.
I think Clinton would have also, because those people are like they're firm believers in the apparatuses of government, and that the government can make people's lives better. Like if you don't actually think that, then what are you going to do? Like when a situation hits, are you going to look to government to fix it, or are you going to look to business? Like if you think business is the way that you solve everybody's problems, and you know, it wasn't until Dow Jones hit and businesses started shutting down that he's like, okay, let me switch this up. I personally think Clinton would have handled it better, just because they're used to being in government. 30 years in government, that's how they solve problems.
Yes, but they listen to the people, and they're not going to go against the media, which the report when the reports came out. I think in England, Boris is getting a lot of criticism. They feel like he should do, but at the same time, I think Boris is trying to be the best he can of not trying to stop on people's liberties and stop people's freedom of moving around. That's what I said to you. He's come out and they said, look, he's trying to be strong. I think that's why he's doing it in stages. You know what I mean? He said, look, do us a favor, stay at home. People go, it's not good enough. So he's come out and said, look, you must. We want you. We ask you now, shut down your thing. This is where we are now. So he's doing it in stages. He's trying to do the best he can. I'll be honest with you. I think he's doing a good job of not trying to be a dictator. He's really trying to be a good job of trying to be a dictator. But at the same time, I don't even know how long this is gonna go on for, man. It's some scary times we're in, man. You know what I'm saying? Some scary times we're in. I want to put all the fear out there and stuff like that. But I just hope at some point, man, we're gonna come to some sort of thing where, that we can try and go back to where, or are we ever gonna go back to what we had before, where we're walking around mask free, gloves free, people can touch each other and stuff like that. Someone equated it to the same thing as HIV back in the 80s, where people didn't know what they had and everyone was scared and stuff like that. So I think
but they quarantined those people. They didn't try to quarantine everybody in order in order to not get it. But you remember SARS and H1N1 and West Nile and all these other things that just never reached this level. So even after this one, one of the comments that somebody was saying earlier, once they solve this one, what's the next one going to be? Because this is pretty extreme. I don't remember in my lifetime a worldwide quarantine. I can't think of a single time this has happened
on the planet. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Not in my lifetime.
Yeah, but in the planet, I'm sure there's some part on the planet where it's air free, people free, and there ain't no corona. That's what I'm thinking. There must be a place where it's free. What's up, SSB 28? There must be a.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. How you doing, my friend? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
What's your take, bro?
Well, I can understand though why they're like closing everything off, but the media is still like exaggerating a lot of stuff. Like there's 80,000 people that have recovered, but they'll never tell that. There's only 200,000 cases, and there's only 10,000 who've died. So most people still that's 5% who die of all the total cases. So most people, 95% who are infected, are still alive right now. Think about that.
See?
But yeah.
So, yeah.
There's also all of these, not unconfirmed, untested people. So there's still a bunch of people who have it that they don't know they have it. Or nobody knows that they have it. They may suspect that they have it, but, they haven't been tested. So.
True. And it's not like China, because in America and in the West in general, there's a lot more health problems too. A lot more people who are obese, they have cancer and stuff like that, and the diets are a lot different. The food people eat. So I think the death rate is going to be a little bit higher compared to China.
Exactly. See?
I also don't think that the at-risk populations are necessarily the same. I don't know if this is happening all over the world, but I think the vast number of people who are actually dying from it are people over the age of 65 who have pre-existing conditions. So that might not be the same population around the world. There might not be the same numbers around the world, but yeah,
Yeah, like, and a lot of those people are in like senior citizen homes. Like, have you noticed that? Like in Seattle, when the outbreak first blew up, well, a lot of people who died were all in senior citizen homes. Like, they weren't actually in like
Yeah, it went.
the general
It hit.
population.
Yeah, somebody went to a senior citizen home. Like here in California, there was a cruise ship that, like, one of the workers from the cruise ship went to a senior citizen home or something like that. Anyway, but I guess like how you get it is also could be important to just looking at the number of people who are dying. For instance, like, you know, if you're an old person on a cruise, chances are, you know, that's a higher that you have a higher chance of both contracting it and probably dying from it, right? Versus
Yeah, because
if
you're
you're at an
enclosed in an
elementary
area.
school, or if you have it at an elementary school where kids just get stuff and you recover, you know.
Yeah, because you're enclosed in like the cruise ship. Like, there's nowhere to go, to be honest. Like yeah, you could. But even like you see those NBA players like Rudy Gobert and like Donovan Mitchell.
Mhm.
Like Serge Ibaka, he kissed the basketball when Rudy Gobert was shooting the free throw, and he never got it.
See.
So I think it depends from person to person, like, and your immune system too.
Yeah,
But
everyone would be shocked if Rudy Gobert died, right? Like nobody is expecting Rudy Gobert to die, even though like the guys who have it are mutate. Like the NBA guys who have the virus, they're expected to recover from it. They're not expected to die from it. But their parents, though, that's a different deal.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, when Kevin Durant got it, everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, he has it too." Then that's when like
Kevin Durant's
shit
got it.
really hit the fan. Yeah, Kevin Durant has it.
Oh man, shit.
4 players on the Nets have it. So it's a 15-man roster. 4 players on the Nets.
That's some serious.
And all those guys got pre-existing conditions. That's a joke. That's a bad joke, but whatever.
Oh man, yeah, it's serious stuff. So SSB, yeah. What part of
Yep.
you from the UK?
I live in Canada. I'm from Toronto.
All right, so let me ask you a question. Do you know anyone who's died from it?
I don't know. No one was died. No one was contacted. And nothing.
You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hey, so you don't know no one who's contact, no one's got it. No, you don't know no one's died of it. But we're all supposed to be scared of this thing, right? Listen. I reckon everyone needs to. I think everyone listening to this should ask everyone around them, and so everyone around them, do they know anyone who's died of it? That's what I'm asking. I need some hard facts, man. Right?
Yeah, I have. That's what I'm saying. Like it's my brother and my cousin. It's like that, you know. But yeah, they're not anybody in the family, but they're coworkers.
No, I want you. No. Like this is what I'm saying. Like you specifically, like me specifically saying, I know someone that boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Like no, and I got like, and I show you this, that, the other. I go hospital. You know what
I'm trying to tell you, it may be by the time you answer that question, yes, you might be in riots and a martial law situation. But like once you start saying it touched me personally. At that point, it might be like really late in this process.
No, I understand about might be, but this is the thing. We was talking in the UK, right? That we're gonna be locked down by Thursday. Today's Friday. The army's coming to the city, tanks and stuff like that. We haven't got to that point. And I really see. You see with Boris, yeah. Boris doesn't want to give up the civil liberties of the citizens in the UK. He doesn't want to do that, but he's trying to make it. He's trying to tread a fine line of not stepping on the citizens, right? Because then for him to go and do that and say to him, look, all the citizens need to be locked down, you're putting the army and the police at risk themselves. I mean, how are you going to ask it's like a fire, right? You ask someone to take a fire down. Well, we know where the fire is, but you can't ask the army and the police to enforce people to stay in their houses. Good gosh. I mean, who's going to look after their houses and stuff like that? You know what I'm trying to say to you? So it's a mammoth task. What you want is the cooperation of the public, so they can obviously do what's sensible, right? And that's what he's asking for. But at the same time, end of the day, people leave to other people, like the other guy said, well, look, I'm going to open the pubs. I'm like, yeah, cool. Open the pubs. Leave something there, man, for people to come out the house and congregate if they need to. Like, see what we're doing now. This is congregating what we're doing right now. I know we're not face to face. We're not in another's air. It's obviously safe, yeah, as far as I know, anyway. That we're not gonna contract no corona through this equipment, right? But at the same time, human beings need to be able to sit down and talk rationally about it, and that's what I'm trying to do here by asking the question: who's got it? Do you know who's got it? And let's have the conversation of how are they recovering from it. That's where I want to get to. I want to get to the stage of like, so we can have this conversation. This is the whole beautiful thing about social media, that we can all talk amongst each other and try and resolve it without the government saying one thing, but what are we saying? Are we just gonna be like parrots and just copy them, or are we gonna ask the opponent questions of how we can get over this thing and try to understand this? Because I believe this year that when you're in your house too long, eventually you're gonna have to come out your house. And where do you go? Where do you go? What are you going to do? The sun's going to come out at some point. What are you going to do? You tell people to stay in their houses when the sun's baking down and you've got something? I mean, you can't do that. I mean, EJ, it's impossible. Go ahead.
EJ, the reason why I think Boris Johnson didn't do it yet, because I read somewhere, it was on social media, because of the Brexit. Remember when Brexit happened?
Yes.
The economy because of it. Because, like, they can't trade with other countries anymore, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So then he's trying to like develop a plan and then implement it. So he's trying to like take his time with it, develop a plan, and then see how it goes from there.
What kind of plan?
I don't know. I don't live in the UK, so I don't know anything.
The plan. This is what I'm saying. The plan is don't upset the natives, man. Because the thing is, real talk, he hasn't got that power like that. I'm just going to be honest with you. I know a lot of people, and this is the thing where America has got different states and they got the governors. The governors, they make the laws and this, that, the other. In England, no, man. Listen, he has to go for him to do that, you have to go to the Queen. You have to go to the Queen. Go to the Queen or the King and say blah, blah, blah for them to do that, the sovereign of the nation. Then you have to come back to the public and say we're thinking about putting martial lockdown into what are people say. People, we have houses of parliament, right? So before he can actually do that, people have to vote on that to see if that's going to go through as well, legislation. And how long's that going to take? That's not going to take a day. Like, why would anyone, if you sit in the House of Parliament, why would you vote away your freedoms? That's not going to happen overnight, because when it's gone. You can't get it back. So.
Well, I mean, that is the best way to actually curb people's freedom is through public health crises. I'm sure from what I understand about London is that you guys are blanketed with CCTV, right? Yes. So there's a certain point when there weren't any cameras in London, right? To the point that you are now. Like, what was that process? And the process probably started off with public health.
Well, we'll do the terrorist.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, terror. It started off with they do it because of terrorists.
Well, safety. What I mean is public health and safety.
Yes. But at the same time, the cameras, even though we're thing, it's usually with the cars, and they take pictures of people's cars, obviously people's speed and stuff like that, and you have a control center in Scotland Yard who basically polices that, and they can see what's going on, people doing stuff, But at the same time, it takes a while for that thing to happen. Even though you're on camera caught stuff, it takes a while for someone to find you and stuff like that. That takes a lot of manpower to go find this individual doing that. That's why in the shopping centers they've got security, but still if people are stealing, there's nothing anyone can do. There's not listen, people are overwhelmed, man. Listen, people are overwhelmed out here in these shopping centers. That's why, because there's nowhere else for people to go. Like all the social venues where the football, anything go. There's no one for people to go. So they go to the house, they go to the shop, they go into the stores. I just go to the shopping center, right? In a couple of hours, I'm gonna go Tesco's probably in a couple of hours again. I'm just going for the sake of going. You know what I mean? Just for the sake of walking around and because people are there. You know what I mean? I'll be honest with you. I just go because people are there. Like I'm online. I'll be talking to you guys because you guys are here, right? People need people to talk to. You know what I'm saying? Well, if you got your family, I guess you're all right. But you still need to talk to other people, though, innit? Don't you think people need? Wouldn't you agree? You guys agree that people need company from other people? Wouldn't you guys agree with it?
Yes. I mean, me personally, I'm a social person. Yeah, I definitely.
Yeah, you need fellowship. So if you cut off the fellowship areas, what do people tend to do? They're gonna socialize anyway. So is that gonna be illegal? Is that gonna be illegal for people to socialize and to put together. You see what I'm going to say? You see where this now it becomes them against us rather than we're working together. And I think Boris is trying to stop that. You know what I mean? Because look, in America, like you're saying over there, Smoke, right? Everyone's accepted it, right? But there's going to be a point, Smoke, where people are not going to accept it. It's like, F this. You know,
exactly. They're willing to take a little bit of pain now to save them some pain later. But it's a really short term. Yeah, there's definitely an expiration date on this. But there's also, as the news develops, you know, like they started putting these protocols in their place before the stock market crashed.
Mm-hmm.
But now, you know, now you have not only a pandemic, but they've suspended trading on the stock market. Like that's a huge thing in the States. I don't know how big it is in Canada or how big it is in London, but
yeah, it's where I'm at, it's big too.
Yeah. Once you start messing with like, and you got to understand like who this is affecting the most in the state. Like that's what I'm saying. This is essentially an attack on the old people because most people's retirement is in the stock market. Most people who are dying, who they're saying is dying from the virus, are old people. So really, this entire situation is stressing out really one segment of our population. But that segment has a lot of power, both sentimentally and also actually in the way things run and where the wealth is and all that stuff. Mostly it's old people.
Wow. Well, that's some good thing. Well, what we're going to do?
Yeah, that's good.
What we're going to do, SSB and Smoke, we're going to sit down and we're going to listen to my man, David Icke. We've just done a live stream. I've done a live stream a couple of hours ago. So we're going to hear him. He's been in conspiracy theories for like 30-something years. And he sat down on London Real to give his take on the situation. So I'm just going to find the clip and hear what he has to say. And then we can chime in on that. And then I guess that might be it for today. But all right. Let's see. Did I post it up here? Or maybe someone took it down, actually. Let me see. They took it down. Someone
is that the British guy?
Yes, the
British white man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. He's been campaigning about the government taking away our liberties for a minute, you know. And this is what I'm trying to say to you, that it all comes down to me, in my opinion, is taking away people's liberties, you know, social liberties, the ability to have freedom of choice of where and what, you know. He's asking us, he's not demanding it because he can't. You know what I'm trying to say to you? But once you give that up, yeah. Look, you guys have seen Star Wars, not the prequel ones. And what's his name? What's his name again? President Palpatine. When they gave up liberties, he said he would hand it back. That's primarily what I'm talking about. When you give that up, bruh, they bring the force, they bring the troops in. If everyone give the power to the prime minister, it's a wrap. You know what I mean? This one guy with all this power, you don't know where he's going. Even that's what I'm saying. Most of the countries in America and the UK, they're democracies. They're not dictatorships. So for him to do something like that, you need cooperation from the other people. That's what it was designed for. So no one person can be that powerful. And I think that's where you need to be. I'm trying to find a clip actually. Yeah, and I agree. I 100% agree with that philosophy that people need to be able to debate things out, which is going to be reasonable for the people, because people have tendencies to do exactly what I was saying about. They're not going to sit around, yeah, and just take shit. Let me see what it is.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead. Sorry.
The problem is all these people are listening to politicians, yes, not the actual like health ministers and people like in the health departments. That's why a lot of the fear mongering and everything's going. Yeah, go ahead, Small.
But yeah, even those people, though, even the healthcare professionals are still basically beholden to the system. And so they're going to use the system to solve our problems. And, you know, like EJ is saying, like, essentially what that's going to equal is the curbing of our freedoms. Like, the idea of privacy has completely changed over my lifetime. Like, what people... like people's right to privacy, like even people feeling like they have a right to privacy, is completely different.
Yes, yeah. I mean, you're the owner, Donald Sterling. Yeah, we know he's a racist and stuff like that, but they that was a legal tapping, and they used that to get him out of the NBA for the good thing. But at the same time, where do you stop it? You have people like what's that guy's name again? The crazy guy from America, the one they had demonetized him. They demonetized him the other day.
Alex Jones,
yeah, they demonetized him. Now, I don't agree with him. He's a bit crazy, but should get to the point where, you know, these taking away people's liberties of social media because we don't like someone is one thing. You know what I'm trying to say to you? So I completely I'm not trying to give up my liberties if I don't have to. You know what I mean? And this is what I'm trying to say to you. People who are older, like you said, people older. The reason why they're older, like when you're older, you usually become more wiser. Everyone have to agree with that, right? So when you're older, you're wiser. You're not gonna do things, to put yourself in a position where it's gonna be uncomfortable. Older people can see where this is gonna go. You know what I mean? And it's not ending. It's not going anywhere good. This is not gonna be ending anytime in a good thing. You know what I mean? Taking away people's selfish liberties. It's not. I don't know how people think the government's going to save you. The government is not here. This is where Ike's gone. I'm trying to show you. Yeah, the government are not our friends. This is what I'm trying to get out of it. Right? They're not looking out for us. Right? And this is why I'm asking poignant questions about. Well, listen, who's got it? Do you know who's got it? Let's talk about, because I'd love to have the conversation with the person you know who's got it, and let's talk about, okay, how did they get over it? You know what I'm trying to say? And have that information go out there. How did they get it? What do they feel? Have they gone through it? Can I have a conversation with someone who's got it? Why can't I have that still? You know what I mean? That's the conversation I want to have with someone. You know what I mean? Let me find this London Real thing. You know, that's
all these high profile people who have come out and have it, like, you know, like KD and all this stuff. They definitely need to be doing some sort of video diary of it or some vlogs. Yes. And I think that would help their brand. I think they would help the people.
Oh, thank you. It would help everyone so much, yeah. That's you wouldn't believe, because they have their documentation of stages of what they went through, symptoms, and this all can go into cell, but it's all left out in the open. Right? We're gonna hear David Icke in a minute, right?
So, Donovan Mitchell. Just to stay on the NBA in a pandemic, when Magic got the HIV, you know, nobody wanted to play with him. And it was during the whole scare. Nobody really knew what was going on with HIV. You know, eventually, you know, he became the poster guy for it, first of all. But eventually, he became the catalyst for everybody getting over it and saying, okay, it's not that bad. This is what you do, because of his experience specifically.
Yes, 100%. Go on, last word. Go ahead, SSB. Go ahead, last word.
Yeah, going back to the NBA thing, I think Donovan Mitchell, I saw in like a YouTube clip, he went on ABC News, and then they were asking him about it, and he's like, he never felt symptoms, and he just feels fine. He's just isolated from everyone else, and he's like, yo, I don't feel anything. It's just like, he's like, he just feels it, and he doesn't feel much of it. But then I researched, there's 4 stages of it. Like, there's 4 like different types of it, basically. So the first one is like not really that bad, like it's almost like a flu type. That's what Donovan Mitchell has. Then the second one's a little worse, almost like pneumonia. Third, I think, is like probably like, I don't know, you're in the hospital, but it's still not that bad. And then fourth's like ICU and stuff like that. So most people who have it, it's not like, you should be cautious, but not like, don't have fear of it, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes. All right, let's hear from David Icke, the number one conspiracy theorist, who's interesting, come out a couple of days ago. So let's see what he has to say. Actually, it's quite low. Actually, the volume's quite low. Actually, my bad. Let me see if I can boost the. Actually, I know. I need to turn the volume up. 1 minute.
Economic recession. David, welcome back to London. Nice, Brian. Great to have you here. A lot of people out there with a lot of questions. There's a lot of confusion. This is a crazy time. I wanted to start off and just say a few things as far as where we are. Okay. It's March 18th, 2020 right now. I want to throw some of my views out there, and then I want to hear your views, and I want to have a good discussion about this, and also talk about the numbers we know so far. So first of all, just as far as my beliefs, I personally don't believe the coronavirus was created by a third party. I do think it occurred naturally. I do believe in the science, and I do believe in vaccines. I'm sure we're going to talk about this. I do plan on getting my flu vaccine and any future coronaviruses vaccines, although you might talk me out of it. We'll see. I am now obeying the orders of the government. I'm complying with their requests for information and behavior. We're going to see what happens with that. That being said, I do believe at this point that the virus can no longer be controlled in the Western world. And as a healthy 40-something-year-old male, I'm prepared to get it right now, and I don't believe it's going to kill me. We just shook hands. Over the long term, I do think 70 to 80% of the population is going to get it and hopefully become immune to it. But also I understand, due to the safety of the elderly, I know we're going to talk about that, and those with lower immune systems and respiratory problems. I understand and I agree with this policy of social distancing in order to flatten the curve and not to overwhelm our medical system. Finally, I just want to say I think we believe we now live in a post-coronavirus world where the virus is going to be along for a long period of time and it's going to change our behavior. Let me hit you with some stats and then we can jump into this. As of today, March 18th, there are 208,221 reported cases worldwide and 8,272 confirmed deaths. Countries like China with 81,000 cases, about 3,200 deaths. Italy, 31,000 cases, 2,500 deaths. Iran, 16,000 cases, 988 deaths. As we go down to Spain, 13,000 cases, 533 deaths, and then down into the USA with 6,500 cases and 116 reported deaths. And here in the UK, 1,950 cases and 71 deaths. Stock markets in America are down well over 25% since their highs, and a global recession is all but certain. Federal Reserve has cut rates to nearly zero. The US has approved $1 trillion stimulus package. The UK a £330 billion stimulus package. Many industries at risk: aerospace, travel companies, entertainment, events, retail outlets. The list goes on and on and on. I hear through my sources we should expect military troops here in London in the next couple days on the streets. David, there's an ancient Chinese expression that says, "May you live in interesting times." Some say it's a curse. What do you see in the world? What are you concerned about? And do you feel for the British citizens and global citizens?
Right. Well, maybe if I just put some background in place, and then we can take it from there. For 30 years, I've been warning people in my books and in every other way I can that this world is controlled by a cult. It's a cult that has no borders. It operates in all the, at least major countries, and in fact, all the countries in the end, and particular in those countries that dictate the direction of the world. So the cult will be at the core of the system in China. It will be at the core of the system in America, etc., etc., etc. And so what have I said in this 30 years that this cult wants? I've said, and I've said it in the chats we've had before, it wants to create a beyond Orwellian global state in which a tiny few people dictate to everyone else. I've referred to this as the Hunger Games society. And you can picture the structure very clearly. Picture a pyramid. At the top of the pyramid, you've got a tiny few enormously wealthy people that actually are connected to this cult. We now have a name for them. We call them the 1%. At the bottom of this pyramid in the Hunger Games society is basically the rest of humanity that is dependent upon the 1%. And in between the two is a vicious, merciless police military state to impose the will of the 1% on the population and to prevent the population challenging the 1%. And this Hunger Games society is not classic fascism, it's not classic communism, although the outcome in terms of tyranny is the same. It is a technocracy. A technocracy is defined as a society that is controlled by bureaucrats, experts, scientists, engineers, technocrats. And the ability of that situation to happen is through smart technology and AI. The idea is that everything will be connected to AI. This is what the Internet of Things is all about. And if you listen to the crazies in Silicon Valley, they're telling you that in the period around 2030, a year that keeps coming up from all directions, we will have a situation where the human brain will start to be connected to AI. And thus, whoever controls AI will be connecting and driving the perceptions of humanity. And that can be done from a central point through this smart grid, global smart grid. So that's the structure that they want. They also want a society completely cashless, where everything is digital money, a single one world currency, which will be run through this smart grid. Now, in the same 30 years, I've been saying there are two major techniques that are being used to bring about that situation. One, I've called since the 1990s problem, reaction, solution, where you covertly create a problem, you use the unquestioning, pathetic mainstream media to tell the public the version of the problem you want them to believe. And you're looking at stage two, the reaction, for fear, that's the currency of control, outrage, whatever the problem is, and either a demand from the public that something must be done, or at least an acceptance from the public that things need to change because of the problem. And at that point, those who created the problem got that reaction openly in changes in society, offer the solutions to the problems they have themselves covertly created. And those changes, step by step, take us further and further to that Hunger Games society. There's another version, which I call no problem reaction solution, where you don't need a real problem, you just need the perception of one, weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, and you still have the ability to provide your society-changing solution. The stablemate of problem reaction solution is what I call the totalitarian tiptoe, where you start at A and you know you're going to Z, but you know if you go in too big a leap, people will look up from the game show and the latest Simon Cowell and say, what's going on? What's going on? Because the change is so great. So you do it in as big a steps as you can towards your outcome, but not so fast or big that you alert too many people to the fact that it's a pattern. What you want people to believe is everything is random. And I have this other phrase which relates to all this: know the outcome and you'll see the journey. If you don't know where this world is being taken by this cult, then everything seems random. Coronavirus, random. Climate change, random. Economic crash, random. But when you know where we're being taken, you know the outcome, this Hunger Games structured society, now the apparently random events become clear stepping stones to that outcome. Now, let's take all of that and apply it to the coronavirus and what's happening now, and let people decide for themselves if they think that the fact that the coronavirus hysteria ticks every single box of that outcome, that goal, whether that's a coincidence. I absolutely do not believe that it is. And, you know, you mentioned that you don't think that it was a created virus. But the fact is, whether it was or whether it wasn't, doesn't matter to the fact that once you roll it out, it takes on a momentum of its own.
I agree with that.
And therefore, what is unfolding was desperately predictable. And in fact, we'll get into this as we chat, two massive 1% organizations, one in fact 6 weeks before this virus came to light in China, were playing out scenarios and simulations based on exactly this scenario that's unfolding now. And what they said would happen is exactly what is happening, down to the fine detail.
Okay, but the coronavirus is real and it is dangerous. You do believe that?
Well, not as a black and white, no.
Okay, but it is real?
Obviously, there is a strain of this coronavirus, because there are many coronaviruses, which appears to be different. But if you look in terms of the danger is to a certain section of society. Do you know, mainstream doctors, I watched an interview with one in America only 2 or 3 days ago, and they're saying, well, just to put into context, 80% of people that are diagnosed with coronavirus have, and this is his quote, very mild symptoms. The ones that are in danger, and by the way, in danger from any virus, including the classic flu, are those that have compromised immune systems. And they are old people, elderly people, and they are people with what is termed pre-existing health problems. Why? The pre-existing health problems are putting so much pressure on the immune system, it's already weak when it's hit with this. This is why someone like that will have potentially a serious situation, and someone with an immune system in working order of any level will just swat it away. And another point, you know, have we not learned yet to take what the authorities tell us with a pinch of salt until it's proved otherwise? You know, there was
this right here. This is what I was talking about, right? So, I'm gonna smoke. You still there? If you're listening,
yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. You see, this is where it's gonna get critical, right? This is what I really believe what you're saying. The government, are so untrustworthy. I don't believe anything they say, right? But that's why I said, you know, we're only gonna parrot what the government is saying, but we're not having a dialogue. When we used to have a dialogue on here before, we're not a dialogue. We're not trying to question something, and when we do question something, like, we're not getting upset with each other, but we're like, well, this is what everyone else is saying, so why are we not just saying the same? This is where listening to him, and I'm not saying I share all of his ideas, but listening to him, Alan, when has the government ever been for us? Like 9/11, we that wasn't for us. Vietnam, that wasn't for us. Even to the point where the government were kicking out people from the West Indies who came here to help in World War II, that wasn't in no one's interest. So why all of a sudden are they going to be looking out for us? Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think they are looking out for us. I think the government has its own way to see the world and its own agenda. In America, for instance, we have two political parties. One ostensibly says government will solve all your problems, and the other ostensibly says business will solve all your problems. Meanwhile, neither party actually give you the tools necessary for you to solve your problems yourself. And the coronavirus isn't going to be some wake-up call for them to start acting differently. They're still going to behave in the best interest of consolidating and controlling and exercising power that they have.
100%, bro. Well, all I'm saying at this point here, I'll just let David get it out, and then I'll probably leave it. But I don't trust the government. I don't trust nothing. I can't trust them as far as I can throw them. So let's hear what he has to say about that. Let me forward this. Okay, no, let me hear this.
a lady called Dr. Deborah Blix. She's the White House coronavirus coordinator. She said in a press conference 2 days ago that 96% plus of those who have been tested for coronavirus in South Korea were negative. And she said, and our testing results in America show about the same. And so when you are in a massive way, you are diagnosing on the basis of symptoms. How the hell do you know they've got this coronavirus strain and not something else? Me and my son, Gareth, well before Christmas, both went down we're very, very rarely ill. That's why we remember it. We both went down with this illness. And now, as I read the symptoms of this coronavirus strain, we had word for word, point by point, every single symptom. And that means one of two things. It means either this coronavirus strain was going around in Britain then before it had even emerged out of China, or far more likely, we got something else with exactly the same symptoms. So I would hold back on believing the figures. And I would also...
those figures I mentioned, are you unsure about those?
I question any figures coming out of mainstream authority. I've been investigating the mainstream everything for 30 years. And, you know, most of the time, if they ever told the truth, they would genetically implode from the shock. So I question everything. And if it stands up, it stands up. But I don't just take it because someone in a suit has told me to believe it.
See, exactly.
For instance, you know, in 2017, 2018, 45 million people got the flu in America, according to Centers for Disease Control and Prevention figures. 61,000 died. Where was the hysteria then? 61,000 people died.
Well, they say that this is more dangerous and more contagious, and it's potentially going to kill more people.
Well,
otherwise, that's a good question, David. Everyone's like, well, how come people aren't worried about this when the flu from 18 killed 50,000? This has only killed 8,000.
The point is, though, this is the point, that according to officialdom, 80% of people who get the coronavirus, diagnose the coronavirus, and not necessarily all got it, have very mild symptoms. The vast majority of the rest have what they call moderate symptoms, and that leaves some with compromised and weakened immune systems who get the serious end of it. And they get the serious end of the flu as well, and other viruses.
These people are clogging up the Italian health system.
Well,
do you believe that's true?
The point is that what we surely should be doing is focusing on those people and doing what is necessary to protect them and their immune systems from the consequences. But to have the vast majority of the population who at most will have mild symptoms, some even no symptoms. I mean, I remember this story. One of the first Scottish people to get the virus was interviewed on a BBC local radio station. And he said, well, you know, I had a bit of a mild fever. Well, what's that? That's the immune system using heat to kill the predator. Just perfectly immune system response. So anyway, he says, and so I got checked out. And they said I got coronavirus. And they said, you've got to go to hospital. He said, but I felt all right. I had a bit, you know, I had a few aches and stuff, but I'll be all right. He says, so I'll go to hospital. He said, but by the time I get to hospital, he said the symptoms are gone. And he's gone down as a statistic, coronavirus in the numbers. So when you've got people who are getting that on, even if they do get it on a vast scale in terms of percentage who have that response, you get an even greater number who don't get it. And for that, you destroy, because that's what's happening before our eyes, Brian, you destroy the world economic system. Now, let's go back to how I started. One of the things I've been pointing out as a problem reaction solution that was coming to transform human society, including, by the way, one of the things I said was coming in my earlier books was a pandemic because of all the boxes it ticks. But what I have been saying for the best part of 30 years is they are planning an enormous economic crash. And I've been saying it even more since 2008, because 2008 seemed to be a nightmare. The point I'm making is what they want is something that would make 2008 look like, you know, a Sunday school tea party. And so this coronavirus hysteria gives the excuse to do what they're doing, and the outcome and the consequences of what they're doing is to dismantle the world economic system. Now, another thing I've been saying, this Hunger Games society, I've been saying this for a long time, is designed to have no small business, no even medium-sized business globally, just gigantic corporations that control and produce everything. Amazon is a classic example of what I'm talking about. What this coronavirus hysteria is creating is a situation unfolding by the hour worldwide that is destroying small business, family business, even medium-sized business, some even relatively big businesses too. It's destroying them. The big legacy of what is happening now will not be to do with health long term. It will be economic. It's going to be catastrophic. Now, here's the point. What happens to those people whose businesses collapse? What happens to all those people who were working for those businesses, for bars, for hotels, for all these businesses that have been targeted? Don't go there, shut down. What happens to them? They fall into the bottom of the Hunger Games society. And what we're seeing now every day is this Hunger Games society coming closer and closer and closer because of what's being done in the name of protecting the people. I've got news for you. You go deep enough into this system, they don't give a shit about the people. We are being asked to believe now that this system cares about old people. We must protect the old people. We must destroy the world economy to protect the old people. Oh, these would be the old people, would they, that have paid in their entire life through taxation and other means, and at the end, in their final years, they get handed a pittance of a pension, which gives them the choice between being warm or being hungry. And what does that do? When people are going without essential things because the system doesn't care, and they're having to buy shite food because that's all they can afford. They can't have nutrients to boost their immune systems because they can't afford them, and the mainstream everything's not telling them they need them anyway. And at the same time, they're breathing in shit air, drinking toxic water and other drinks, being deluged with sugar, which has a phenomenally destructive impact on the immune system. All this is going on. We're living in an electromagnetic, technologically generated soup of radiation toxicity. And this system has allowed that to happen, has allowed corporations to do that. And now, having done all that, that's devastated the lives and the immune systems of old people, we are being asked to believe that the system cares about the health of the elderly. It doesn't give a shit. And I'm not talking about the nurses. I'm not talking about the doctors. I'm talking about that at the core, which is driving this. And the idea that all these things are being done to protect the elderly, they don't give a shit about the elderly. The elderly are an excuse to impose the very society that I'm talking about. Now, if you look at when these things happen and great Orwellian draconian things are put in place, oh, we've got to do this because of the problem. Well, the problem eventually passes. This virus will eventually flatten out. But what you see every time, 9/11's a classic, they'll roll back some of it. but not nearly rolled back to where it was before. The whole thing's moved on closer to the Hunger Games society. Another thing you're going to see, oh, and by the way, I mentioned that.
That's enough, man. Well, listen, you guys can take it where you want it. Only one person's watching on, because you guys had enough of it, man. So that's what I got to say about it, man. Smoke, you want the last words? No, Smoke, even Smoke's had enough of it as well.
No, I'm just on the other line, man. I'm listening to you, but thank you for it. Peace out, man.
All right, man. Nice one, Smoke. Peace out, man. Well, listen, all I know is this year it's gonna get worse before it gets better. And end of the day, everyone try and do things, but ask the questions, man. Don't be afraid to ask the questions, and have a conversation with your neighbor and keep dialogue. Don't be scared of people, man. Don't let other people tell you that you should be scared of other people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we don't want to catch it, but at the same time, we should have a dialogue.
Is that crazy?
Pardon?
Yeah, so I just want to let you know that there's been a COVID-19 case at my dad's nursing facility. Just confirmed case right now.
Okay, keep us posted on that, though, Smoke. Yeah, keep us posted, yeah. If you can, yeah. I mean, yeah, just keep us posted on that. Thanks, Smoke. Yeah, appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, man. MD, yeah, look, bro, all I'm saying, just have a conversation with each other. That's what I'm saying. Right? The conversation is ask the questions. Who's got it? Have I got it? Do you know who's got it? Like Smokes just came out with a case, and just be on track of it. And then if you know someone who's got it, talk to the person. Talk about the symptoms. Talk about how we can overcome it. Because that's really what we want to get to. You know what I mean? Not stuck at the point where you've got it and that's it. There's a process, isn't it? There's a process. So that was David Icke on London Real. If you want to go check him out, that was my man Smoke. I'm EJ Boxer Live, and stay safe and catch you on next one. Peace.
Yeah, next time, guys. Peace.